Welcome in. Hour number 2, three-man front on this Thursday. We'll go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, talk to Rodney Orr coming up. Later this hour, Rob Pate down at Auburn. 12 noon, the voice of the Florida State Seminoles, Jeff Culhane, will join the program. And Brett Norsworthy from WHBQ Radio, he will be along in his weekly spot, 12:30.
Well, we are so close to college football, and the place to go check out all the action is Big Whiskey's. They're going to have all the games on in the bar on the big screen, and they're also a great place for food of all varieties. They have a full menu with apps, salads, burgers to steaks. Their bar features unique cocktails, over 120 whiskeys, including whiskey on tap. And like I said, plenty of screens so you can catch all of the football action all season long. They also offer different food and drink specials for each day of the week. They have happy hour, and the kitchen is open late every night. So go check them out in the Stadium Trace Village off Highway 150 near the Hoover Met.
Joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline from TiderInsider, Rodney Orr joins us. Rodney, I hope you're doing well on this Thursday.
I am doing well, guys. How are y'all doing?
We are doing fantastic. Week 0 is just a couple days away. I know we've got a very short list of games. It will be a lot of fun finally to get the season kicked off. But before we start talking about other things around the Alabama program, just wanted to get your thoughts on Bama this morning, naming Parker Brailsford, Tim Keenan, Deontay Lawson, and Ty Simpson as permanent captains for 2025.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great group. I really do. I mean, all of those guys been leaders. And I think there's probably a couple other guys that would have been really well qualified for that as well. But I think that's an outstanding group for sure.
For somebody who knows the running back room like you do, what is the impact, at least for the first part of the season, with the absence of Jam Miller?
Well, I think, first of all, he's another guy that's a leader. I think great leadership, having him out there on the field, the experience that he has. I think when you look at the group that they have, there's not a ton of experience behind him. Again, I think Dre Washington, obviously at Louisiana when he was there, the transfer, he probably has, well, he has more experience than any of the rest of the group. So it's the leadership and the experience that I think they're going to miss. I think his ability as picking up blitzes, all the little nuances of playing the position, he does so well. You just don't know exactly what those guys behind him bring in those areas. So I think all of those things contribute to why you're going to miss him early in the season. And hopefully the hope is that he will be back by the Georgia game.
Rodney, in regards to scrimmage number 2, was it pretty much basically what you saw in scrimmage 1, just the intel that you got after Saturday's scrimmage at Bryant-Denny Stadium?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much very similar, the feedback. I think there was a few things, maybe there was some concerns about the kicking game that were mentioned, the punting, the place kicking, even though DeBoer continues to say that both Connor Talty, the place kicker, and Blake Dowd, the punter, and Alex Esperoff, another punter, have done well in practices. They just haven't really carried it over to the scrimmages. But that seems to be something that I know the observers continue to point to as a concern. I think on the flip side of that, Ty Simpson continued to handle himself really well in that scrimmage. They did not turn the ball over in terms of interceptions, none of the quarterbacks. And they all certainly had some really good moments there. So I thought overall it was pretty much the same. The scrimmage that other than the injury to Jam Miller, most everything was pretty positive.
Now, a week and a half later, the offensive line, whether it be by injuries there at the position or lack of experience in just getting reps, what does that group look like as we head into week 1?
Hearing a lot of positive things about the group overall from both scrimmages. The people who observed think that this is a group that's got a chance to be really, really good. Obviously with Caden Proctor at left tackle, Wilkin Formby at right tackle. And now with Roberts, being out, now he's been out, don't really know what his status is going to be for FSU, but Geno Van Mark at right guard, Cam Dewberry at left guard, and of course you've got Brailsford at center. So it sounds like it's a pretty solid group. It sounds like that they've built some guys behind that group that are providing some depth in terms of Olasa Lennon could play tackle or guard. The 2 true freshmen have really opened some eyes, Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll. So they continue to build some depth behind that group, and it sounds like they feel like it's going to be a real strength.
When you have the measurables of being 6'4" and you're a DB, that plays really, really well if you can chew gum and walk across the floor at the same time. And Dijon Lee, he is an individual that has turned a lot of heads. Even Kane Womack yesterday, he was mentioning him potentially being a starter. For those that don't remember the recruitment of Dijon Lee and what he can bring to the table for the Alabama defense, just kind of remind everybody how good this kid can potentially be.
Yeah. No, he come out of California. He's a 5-star. Alabama and Oregon and USC and several other top programs obviously were chasing him really hard, and he ended up here. And since the day he got here in the spring, it's been nothing but pure rave about Dijon Lee at 6'4", what he can do athletically, can play the position. He's really fluid, all of the things that you look for, and he just happens to be 6'4", maybe even a little taller. And it does look unusual out there. I'll be honest with you, I was trying to think, how unusual it kind of looks to see a corner that tall. I remember the first time seeing Derrick Henry, running back, you're thinking this guy doesn't look like a running back. Well, Dijon Lee really doesn't look necessarily like a cornerback, but he plays like one. He's going to get a lot of playing time. And I think in that secondary, as we've talked about before, the rotation, they're going to rotate guys in. I don't think they're going to be afraid to do that.
Rodney, what is your expectation with Ryan Grubb running the offense? Just the eye test, how it will look, how much different will it look for Alabama fans when they're watching as the Tide takes on Florida State?
Well, I think that's going to be something that's really interesting to watch. It sounds like that the things we've heard from the scrimmages, obviously they want to run the football. And Grubb made that really clear a couple of days ago when he made the comment that the offense will go as far as we can run the ball. And so they want to have a real physical presence up front. They want to run the ball with some physicality. But they also want to be able to obviously distribute the ball around the field. And I think Ty Simpson is the key to that. He has had 2 really good scrimmages. He's had a great camp overall. He's shown the ability that he understands where his receivers are. He's thrown the ball accurately. He's made good choices and decisions. So when you combine those 2 and his ability to throw the ball down the field, which he does, he has a strong arm, and the receivers that they have, I think there's a feeling among a lot of people that this has a chance to not only be an extremely balanced offense, but one that could be very, very explosive.
Talking to Rodney Orr from TiderInsider, joining us on the Higginbotham hotline. If there's a position group to you, Rodney, that you are having a little bit of pause or concern going into the start of the season, is there one particular group that for you want to see maybe a little bit more improvement in regards to the way the season goes along, because that group potentially could hold Alabama back a little bit in regards to their goals?
Yeah, I think, again, based on kind of what I've heard, the kicking game would be one, which we mentioned. So that's certainly something that keeps coming up. But I think I think the defensive line has a chance to be really, really good. I just think the younger players behind them, and we keep hearing that Jeremiah Beeman stepping up, Jordan Renaud, some of the younger players that they have. I think that's really important because we know about those first 3. James Smith, L.T. Overton, Tim Keenan. I think those guys have a chance to be really, really solid. But I also think this, too. I would say the pass rushers, they've got to develop some consistent pass rushers. And one guy that stood out, it's going to be interesting to see if he earns some playing time, is Noah Carter, the redshirt freshman out of Arizona, who was originally committed to Washington. He flipped when DeBoer came here. He's a guy that I even had one person say they thought he was the most dominant-looking defensive player in that scrimmage on Saturday. I think he had at least 3 sacks. So pass rushers, that's really something, to be able to affect the quarterback. I think that's a real key right there for this defense.
Rodney, with your members there on TiderInsider, what seems to be the overwhelming theme of concern, whether it be position group or certain player?
The overwhelming theme of concern?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I think it's the kicking game. That's what keeps coming up the most right now, as far as this team is concerned. Obviously, I think you have to say this, and we're all hearing these great things about Ty, and he has done a fantastic job, but he doesn't have a lot of experience. He hasn't faced the live bullets yet in games. He's only thrown 50 passes in his college career. We think, and it sounds like, listening to the coaching staff and the things that we hear, that Ty's going to be able to handle the job, and he's going to do a really good job. We think he's got all the skills, all the tools. But again, it's that lack of experience. And, how does he handle it when the bullets start to fly? That's something that remains to be seen.
That is Rodney Orr, joins us every Thursday here on Three Man Front. Rodney, take one last deep breath. Get all those things around the house that you need to knock out, because when we start next week, it's game week. So we've got a long haul for the next few months. So you need to get everything done you need to get done before we get things started next week.
Pat, I've never been able to do that. I've never been able to get everything done that I need to get done.
Me neither. Well,
if you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a minute. But, hey, listen, Rodney, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks. That's Rodney Orr joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, your source for live music and all the sports you want to watch on incredible screens is the Finnick right there near Railroad Park. The Finnick's your front row seat to the best entertainment with the massive screens, the explosive sound from every seat in the house. The experience is bigger, brighter, and it's certainly bolder. They got a new restaurant menu that's certainly worth cheering for. They got amazing wings that are going to win MVPs and wood-fire grilled burgers stacked like your fantasy team. Steaks are amazing. You're going to forget there's a game on. Also delicious salads, fresh seafood, and a large selection of Finnick beverages. The Finnick's new 6-day schedule, it includes live acoustic acts Wednesday through Friday. So tonight, beginning at 5:30, you got live music and you got live bands 10 o'clock on Friday. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays are all dedicated to sports. That means college football. That means the NFL. No live music to get in the way. We can't wait to see you this football season at the Finnick, 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
Well, Tommy Castellanos, he saw a microphone. He opened his mouth. He said something. A lot of people questioned what he said. We'll play it for you next here on Three Man Front.